Rise up the starry cloud in James Conway's day. Rise up the starry cloud for his glory.
Кони вёрст рвут наметом, нам свобода дорога. Через прорезь пулемета я ищу в степи врага. Анархия, мама, сынов своих крови. Анархия, мама, не продаст. Свинцовым дождем врага прикололи. Анархия, мама, за нас. Застрачу огнем кинжал.
Well, boys, what's the crack? So what is private and personal property, right? So, say you got the proletariat over here, right? So you got the proletariat, you know, the regular workers, the common folk, and here you got a wealthy business owner. Let's say we live in a capitalist society, right? You got the wealthy business owner, and here, Collins Irish Dictionary is our factory. This is private property. This wealthy business owner, we'll call him Diarmid. So Diarmid over here owns this factory, right? This is his private property. These lot work for him. They build infrastructure. So for example, look, beside the factory, these lot, they build this house and this school, you know, beside the house. And here's the factory. Here's, I don't know why you'd have a school beside a factory, but, you know, whatever. And these lot, you know, they build it for him. You know, here's the builders on top of it. Let's say it's still getting built, right? Here's the crane. You know, this fella here, you know, he's the bulldozer. Right, you know, he's paving all the roads.
What the fuck am I doing?
You know, he obviously has rights as well. You know, fella's laying the cement outside the school. And let's say this fella here, you know, he's doing something as well, right? He's a teacher, right? But as a result of that, it turns out, since he owns the means of production, he owns, right, you know, all the building materials, all the stuff that it took to make the school, and hence the power structures that be, which what you call it would be like, you know, the government, the local council, they would give other people the right based on the fact that he owns this place. But let's say the workers own the means of production, right? So they overthrow Diarmid. So Diarmid own this factory, right? The workers now own this factory. Hold on. Yeah, so they've overthrown Diarmid. Diarmid is no more. And they put up a flag, and now they own this factory. And this, let's say all of this gets built, so these fellas are laid off their job. These fellas are laid off their job. That's what's causing these fellas over here to rebel and take everything back. They all run this apartment complex here. They now run the schools. They run the factory. Fella fell over, probably due to harsh working conditions, causing him to have, you know, irreparable physical health conditions. These lot, right? Our proletariat, they also own the school. Let's not forget the school. They own this bitch. But who's stopping them from owning it? The local councils, you know, the government, right? So we got the government here, you know, we got the KKK, right? You know, local anti-leftist, you know, militias and stuff. We got the bear market. This represents like the well, I know it's the bull market, but this represents the economy, you know, the capitalist class. This fella with his cudgel represents, you know, the government. this fella, I know he's black and he's standing beside the KKK, but hold on. Since he's two swords, he represents, the police. And so leftists, we want to get rid of these people, right? We want them, right, with these people gone, we can now run all of this collectively, right, without anything getting in the way. Get rid of the government. Well, I'll tell you now, the brutal arms of the state, which would be Iron Man Goblin and the black pirate fellow with the sword, will come around and get rid of all the workers, aka in a non-fascist government, just arrest them. So look at him, he's marching them all off to prison. You can't really see it, but they're all going to the prison industrial complex to become literal slaves, like you do under capitalism, right? So they get marched off, away, right? And they put a new Dearman in power. We'll call him Sean. They put Sean in power, and it's like nothing has changed, right? So this is why, workers need to get rid of the police and wealthy business owners in order to take control of infrastructure and factories and, own the means of production. This right here, the factory, is the means by which society, critical infrastructure like schools and apartments are produced. Now, what is personal property? Well, we got Ryan here, and this is his personal property. So we got his PlayStation 5 and his Babe Ruth collectible baseball cap. Let's say this is like America, right? So your man's a big fan of baseballs, he is, right? And right, he's his PlayStation 5, right? This is his personal property, right? Whatever it be to you, so it'd be like your phone maybe, or whatever, it doesn't really fucking matter. And he also got Yeezys. This is his I can't see it. This is his personal property. Now, if the government wanted to come down and take his private property from Ryan, that would be, authoritarian. This is why socialists, people like, our union man, Corey, do not support. Corey over here says no to government tyranny. He's an anarcho-syndicalist. He says Ryan deserves to have his personal property, aka his PlayStation 5, his baseball cap, his Yeezys, right? Or his Nike 270, wherever gets your balls rolling. And look at that. He says he deserves to have his personal property after all. So, how's it different from private property? Like, what separates private property from personal property? Owning means of production. So it's owning the means by which Ryan's personal property is created. Now you see it, right? So here's the factory. Here's our union man watching over. Right, this is the private property. This is owned by Paddy, and Paddy owns this factory. This is his private property. Private property, like I said, is the means by which personal property is made. So, if there was no government institutions such as the police, the army, the capitalist class, anti-unionists, and the state will put it on a pedestal because it's important. Here is the state in this factory, right? And now it's still being made in this factory. The only difference is it's no longer private property. It's public property now, meaning that Ryan himself owns a share or a part. He's part of the co-op or he could be anyway, that owns this public property, the factory. So he can now that the government is gone, now that Paddy is gone, Ryan can now create more of the same stuff without having to buy it from anyone. You get what I mean? That's the difference between public and private property.